stage on this ceiling now where we've smoothed it off, we've stabilised it because it was loose in a lot of areas. The actual plasterboard was loose, so it's nice and tight now. So the next job is just to knock off the foam and do the filling. The customer has asked us if we can put an insulation paper on the ceiling because it's so cold on the staircase. So this is the insulation we're using. It's a lining paper with polystyrene. It's about 5mm thick. It's good stuff, to be honest. It's not easy to put up, but it is good stuff. Some of the things you're going to need to apply this insulating lining paper, that's the stuff. I've got a blade to cut the lining paper with in places, pencil, tape measure, my scissors, some good adhesive and a stick to stir it up. Always give it a stir, although it's ready mixed. I've got a straight edge so I can make nice cuts along, and I've got a scuttle with my paste in, a roller to apply the paste, and a brush, because you're meant to paste the wall or the ceiling which you're applying this stuff to. We're at the point now where we're going to put this insulation on the ceiling. All the filling's been done and it's all dry, and we've given it a coat of PVA and that's dried off. One thing you'll have to do is release your ceiling rows from the ceiling a little bit, so when you come with the insulation to it you can tuck it underneath, because you need to be able to fasten it back without it looking daft. First thing what you want to do is measure your insulation paper, and this is 19 3/4. So what I'm going to do is put some marks on the ceiling at 19 inches. So what this allows is you to cut off a bit of excess along the edge of the ceiling. It's never easy when you're working on a plank. And then, using your spirit level, you can just join them up. You can use a piece of string if you want, but it doesn't have to be that perfect with this, with it being just a line. It's just a guideline to follow this. Now I'm ready to apply the adhesive and cut my first length ready to go on. What you want to do is measure the length of your ceiling paper. Always give the instructions a read first. I mean, I've applied this stuff before, so I have no problems. You can sit it on the end of the bench there. Taking your tape measure, you want to measure 7 foot 2 inches. That's 6 foot to there. 7 foot 2 inches now. Now taking your straight edge, make sure you draw a nice straight line down the paper. And using your scissors, just cut along that line. Just keeps everything nice and straight. You can fold that up, or I should say roll it up. It doesn't fold this way. Now what I do is go and apply my paste to the ceiling, and then you can stick this on. Wet your roller into your paste, and then being quite liberal with it, apply a coat to where you're going to put your first piece on. Just coming over your line a little bit. And then what you want to do is around the edges use your brush, making sure you get plenty on. Now you're ready to apply your first piece now. Okay, this stuff, it's not easy to apply at all, as you can see. You can't really fold it because it cracks. So, opening it up, finding your line, if your line is quite straight, keep it flush against the wall on that side. Again, it's really not easy stuff to put up. Taking your cloth, you can use a paper hanging brush, but cloth is sometimes easier. You can help smooth it out. Don't worry about it cracking too much. It just literally can't be helped because it's just the way this stuff is. That's not too bad, that. So what I've done is, on this side, I've kept nice and flush with the ceiling because it was straight. So I've not got no cutting off there. And then along this edge, you can see how much it deviates, you know, to actually nothing there. So if you hadn't put a straight line across, you would have had a big, like a piece of cake, a slice that you'd have to put in there. So it's a lot easier to do it this way. Now I'll show you how to trim some of this. What I usually do is I use my scissors. You can use a blade, but I find my scissors is a lot easier. So put pencil back, long to follow, and then tapping your scissors, just trim off the excess. You don't want to be pulling it off the ceiling too much because it might fall off on you. There you have it, that's the first piece up. What you want to do before you put your paste on for the next length, you just make sure you've got a mark of how long it is, so you're not actually putting too much paste on. A rough guideline that. Don't worry too much about going on your other paper because you can wipe it off. do that. And using your brush, make sure you do the ends. Time for this second piece. This time I'm going to overlap the end by just an inch, butting up to your other paper. Once you've got it on, make sure you wipe any bubbles out. And then you can do your trimming. So, taking your pencil, try and mark against the wall and not the ceiling, because it makes a more accurate cut when you cut the excess off. I'll just mark this side at the same time while I've got the pencil out. And using your scissors, just trim that excess off. This side up. Not too bad at all, right? Right, now we've come to where the light is. So what I'm going to do to make life easy for myself is I'm going to split the paper. So then I'll bring one half there and then one half the other way. Make sure your line's nice and straight. Release the socket off the ceiling a bit so the paper can go behind. And you can replace that. So making sure the electric's off, release the ceiling rose. You need it to come down a little bit so you can get a bit of the insulation round, because with it being 4mm thick, it looks horrible if you don't try and tuck it behind. Enough. Right, so again, I'm going to put my paste on the whole of the ceiling, what I'm about to do, even though I've split the paper. and then using your brush, just finish off. Just get rid of my paste. Right, taking your first piece, this is number one. I know this is the side of it. Bowing just an inch over. Bring it towards your right. When you're satisfied where you've got it, give it a bit of a wipe out. And what you need to do, a few pencil marks in the centre. And then be very careful because you don't want to cut any wires. Make some cuts along the lines you just put on. What you can do is take a little bit off and tuck the rest behind. Just like so. And then again, trim your edge. Putting your pencil mark along the wall edge. It's on with your second piece. Now with this piece, I'm actually going to start from the centre and work to the wall. And what you want to do is use the bit where you made the cut. Yeah, it's not easy. And then it's the same principle there. Taking your pencil, make a few cut marks. Don't cut any wires. And just trim a little bit off the centres. And tuck the rest behind. I mean, this must be one of the hardest types of paper you'll ever put on, really. If you can get this stuff on, everything else is a doddle. There we go. Like so. Now it's just a matter of smoothing that off. Trim this last edge. Basically, there you have it. That's how to apply insulation to your ceiling. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the ceiling rolls like that, because when we come to put the lining paper on top of this, I'm going to tuck that behind, and then the paper itself is going to get tucked behind as well. If you do get any bits where it's a bit loose, or you notice that there's not enough adhesive on, then just put a bit extra in. So as we've been doing this job, this smoke alarm has been removed every day and replaced every evening, because you don't want a fire in the house when you're not there and getting blamed for anything. So I'm just going to remove this smoke alarm just for today, and then it's going back this evening. Now, what I do is remove the screws, and obviously I need to know where they go when I put it back. So what I do is actually replace the screws so they're back in. Just enough so you can know where they are. You don't want them too proud. And then what I'll do is when I put my lining on from that side, I'm going to line straight over him, and then I'll push him through and cut where the holes are. See the screws in the ceiling? When you come towards that, literally just paper over it. And you can already see where they're beginning to show through. There's one. The other. As easy as that. So I've just got to trim that off now, and I'll show you the finished ceiling.